It is my great honor to inform that Mihail Vitosha has been elected EPSA President 2019-2020. We will continue now with the next position, the Vice President of Internal Affairs. The PC has received, like as I explained before, we received 2 nominations. One was withdrawn, so we have only one. From Bernardo Marineira, proposed by APEC Portugal, seconded by Musa Ferdi. I invite Bernardo to provide his 3-minute speech. You may start.
Dear General Assembly.
Dear General Assembly, I wish to bring EPSA closer to its members. To do so, I intend to attend as many local events as possible and organize personal meetings so that I can understand the needs of each of our members. This will allow me to pass on necessary information so that our members can also participate not only in discussions but also in our events. This also helps us to engage with less active or even not participating EPSA members. This brings me to the LSs and to the need of engaging regularly in the WhatsApp group and to come up with a way to follow up on the events that the members are having and to update each and every one of you on what is happening. I feel the need of bringing LSs and the EPSA team together so that our students can benefit from our relationship. To do so, I plan on using the buddy project and to ensure that both sides of the buddy project know their expectations for this relationship. I also want to propose an optional, and note an optional, LS plus team hangouts. In regards to LS meetings, I will count on my facilitation experience to ease the process of discussion and to also to reach more outcomes. To promote participation, I plan on providing the agenda and the date for the meeting in 1 week in advance. Having information about EPSA is essential to participate in its discussions and events, as I previously mentioned. I intend to go through the LS handbook and to make it a bit more LS friendly. The LS survey also needs some attention and to be outcome oriented, so that we better grasp the opinions of each and every one of us. The next generation chats and the next generation trainings require a better promotion and a sooner promotion. Strong communication with the team, and especially with the PR department, will be essential. In regards to possible new members, I intend to look for external organizations where these members are active and to try to get an engagement through them. In regards to the internal departments, this is a department that has a tricky portfolio, and it has been seen that the communication needs to improve a lot. So I intend to make sure that at least I and the events are CC'd in every email in regards to events to make sure that there's no loss of information. I intend to make sure that the alumni get closer to EPSA and they are aware of what's happening and about their events. And in regards to the chairperson, they really need to be well integrated within EPSA and within the department so that they can also give some input in the whole EPSA, not only in event-related things. Thank you very much for your attention.
I'll now give the word to APEC Portugal to provide their proposer speech.
Until APEC Portugal. So I know how important this position is for all of us as LSs, all of us as ODs, and I can see all the requirements needed in Bernardo, such as communication, motivation, and leadership skills. His experience with 2 minutes as EPSA training coordinator has put a lot of effort to develop EPSA projects and to create strong relationship with the EPSA members. He's also very active in our home association, developing projects related to EPSA in our 8 faculties, spreading EPSA and motivating students to be involved. He has experience and motivation to manage the VPIA portfolio, so we truly support his application and Bernardo is the most suitable person for this position.
Thank you, Alpert. Now Mupsa with the secondary speech.
Zafer Mupsa, Turkey. It is a great pleasure for us to second the VPA candidate who is amazingly dedicated to EPSA. Mupsa Turkey has some ongoing EPSA projects which are being coordinated with the collaboration with Bernardo, and I am personally very impressed with his dedication to the project, time management, and him always being available. In my opinion, that is a sign that shows he will be very responsive and responsible for the communication with the LSs, which is quite important for the position. And also on behalf of the last summer universities IC, we would like to say that he was always there for us with his constructive problem-solving skills. So as MUPSA, we are very proud to second him.
Thank you, Mupsa, and now I open the floor for questions. First, I have VFSO, the rest, keep them up high.
Doreen Perez of Belgium. What do you think will be for you as a person the most challenging parts of your position of Vice President of Internal Affairs?
Bernardo.
The most challenging part will probably be the documents, as there's a lot to read, and you all know this and you all experience. And yeah, this will be where I will struggle a bit more, but I do intend to spend some time per week on this matter, especially in regards to the Hellas handbook, because if I'm proposing to do something about it, I really do plan to do so.
Next, KMPSV.
Janine, KMPs for the Netherlands. It is about inactive members, because we have counted, for example, Albania, who has just become a new associate member and then unfortunately is not that active. Do you have a plan to make active members active from the beginning?
Bernardo.
Okay, so from the beginning I plan on meeting the new LSs, not only for the inactive members, but the LSs that come into EPSA as the beginning of the mandate. Personally in a one-on-one meeting, so that I inform them about the whole EPSA that is going on. How to make them a bit more active straight out of the bed? Well, I think that improving the LS handbook might make it easier for them to also participate in the discussions. And by having the proper documents and the proper topics of discussions on online meetings or even live meetings 1 week before the happening of the meeting will make them be more confident to also participate.
Just to with the director.
It's just so meeting LS one-on-one can be quite time consuming. How would you be able to do that?
Okay, so I am finishing my degree in November, and afterwards I'm planning to just focus on EPSA throughout the rest of the mandate. So this will provide me with a lot of free time to try and meet with every LS.
And next, I have CPSA with a new point.
Eva, CPSA Croatia, so it could be also kind of a direct of what we just discussed about the individual meetings with the members. So are you planning to do the meeting with each of us? So also us who have started our mandates really like months ago, or only with the new LSs coming to the position?
Bernardo.
I plan to focus on the new LSs. Still, if there is a need for other LSs to also meet with me in regards to EPSA, I am totally available to do so as well. And yeah, in regards to this, it's up to the communication that we create straight out of the bat and the understanding of your needs as LSs as well.
Next is Apple.
Jelena out of Austria, so we all know that you have to be, as VPIA, very responsive to all the time. So I want to ask you regarding answering emails and also proactively, because you have to do that, proactively approaching members. Do you think you can do that constantly, 24/7? And did you do so in your last mandate?
During my last mandate, I will address this part before. During my last mandate, I believe that I was responsive, especially when I had to work together with not only the members but also with the EPSA team members. Still, I think that I will be very available to answer and to be there to provide my input, not only in regards to LSs but also in regards to the EPSA team as well, which is one of the points that I really want to improve from the previous mandate, is like this input that needs to be given to the EPSA team.
Next is CZPSA.
Marketa, CZPSA, as you mentioned in your motivation letter, you want to be closer to members by being present at their local events. I would like to ask you what kind of events you think by that, and also if you think that you will have enough time for that, because you will have other duties during your mandate. Thank you.
Good luck.
Okay, first of all, I am available to get closer to the members by moving to Brussels, if possible. So this will ease a lot the distance between me and the journalist associations. And what was this? Sorry, can you please just specify a bit more in the beginning?
CZPSA.
Marketa, CZPSA, I meant what kind of events of local members you do?
Good luck.
Okay, so as you know, we have VMFs to go to events of our local associations. Still, being in Brussels makes it a bit easier for me to move around the center of Europe, and if necessary, to just go to some members who are close by and meet with them.
Next is SSSB.
Sorina SSSB, I was wondering how are you planning to reach new countries to become EPSA members?
Okay, I mentioned a bit in my speech, which is to go for external associations, and because, for example, Italy is not inactive in all associations possible, you know, and they must be active in some, and it's possible to get the communication through those associations. As it happens with Aegea, I know that you know that we had an Aegean trainer, and we in Portugal presented her to the Association of Geography, which was not active. So it's basically a bit of this, and also to check with the alumni if they know these associations and if they have been there, like it happened with Brandon as well.
Next is SNAPS.
Isabel, SNAPS, Sweden. As VPIA, it's important to have knowledge about how to run an organization and its structure. So, because you haven't had any other position in any other organization before, so do you feel confident that you have the knowledge it takes, and if not, do you feel confident you will gain it until the beginning of your mandate?
Well, in 2 years I can assure you that I've got to know very well EPSA, and I'm very comfortable with its structure and with its project, and I think that it will be relatively easy for me to be aware of what is happening and be aware and present the EPSA structure to anyone who might need this information.
Names so during your second mandate, I received a feeling that you haven't been so active compared to the first. My question would be, how would you make sure that you wouldn't lose motivation, like for doing your task during next mandate?
My motivation dropped a bit after December. Still, I think that I managed to keep up in the last few months. It happened due to a almost failed project that I really was into. Still, everything was managed, and my motivation got picked up in the last few months, as I mentioned. Well, by moving to Brussels, if I am able, I will be living with EPSA all the time. And that really motivates us. As we've seen this mandate as EPSA team, it really motivates you to work for EPSA if you are within the EPSA environment. And that's why team meetings show that we start to being a lot more active around those periods of time. If I'm always there, then I expect to be motivated more frequently.
KMPSV.
Elina, KMPSV Netherlands. You did 2 years of work in the educational department, and I was wondering why did you choose another department for this?
The position that I had in the educational department had a lot of people management, okay? I had the trainers board with me, I had to manage a lot of EPSA trainers, and this is where I could relate with managing a lot of you guys, a lot of DLSs, and yeah, the position was the one that most interested me, because I really wanted to have an impact in what EPSA has to say and in what students have to say, and I want to close the gap between you, the students, and EPSA.
Now I have Chris.
Chris, EPSA Treasurer. So the communication and collaboration between the VPIA and Treasurer is very important because, of course, with the membership fees, we now have a restructure for Friend of Association, which will be proposed. How do you see this collaboration and communication during your mandate?
As I mentioned, I do plan to be a lot more active in the EPSA communication and providing feedback to the EPSA team members in general. I am aware that the communication between the VPIA and the Treasurer is very frequent and regular, and I do intend to keep up on that communication and to send constant follow-ups on information that might be left behind.
I still have on the speaking list ANEP, KMPSV, SSFB, BPSA, and AFOP. So first ANEP.
Thank you for your application. Regarding the last VPIA mandate, you didn't mention the same relation with the RCs or with some external part, because it's so close, like you were in the educational department, and you also know that relation between internal, educational and external is very important. How would you manage it?
If I understood correctly, it's about the engagement between the Vice President of Internal, the External, and the Educational Department. Is that correct?
Another clarification.
Yes, yes, and also with other parts like the RC or something like this.
Yes, Bernardo.
First of all, I want to make sure that every part of what you just said, like all the VPs and the RCs and members, they know who they have to CC in every email. So to make sure that everyone has the necessary information about what they need to discuss, especially in regards to the VPIA and the events, in regards to the events that we are organizing, because this is something that really needs to be set out, that yeah, they need to be informed about everything event related, otherwise miscommunications might happen as it happens now.
Next I have KMPSV.
In KMPSV Netherlands, during the team meeting it was discussed that there were plans for a trainer's handbook, guidelines, some sort of documents, and that unfortunately you didn't mention that mandate. So my question is, how are you going to be vice president? So it means being a part of the exec. How will we will know that you will be able to be part of the exec and not only a coordinator?
Well, how to be part of the executive, that's something that I don't believe anyone is fully aware of what it means until you get there exactly, especially in regards to the workload as well. Still, I believe that I can be very impartial in what concerns discussions, and I really see that my vision for EPSA is not the vision of educational department, it's the vision of EPSA. That's what I'm fighting for. It's not for us to have the best training project ever, it's for us to have the best EPSA that we can get. And if that means giving my opinion, going against or for any of the other departments, then that will be my vision for the best of EPSA.
Direct KMPSV.
Janine, KMPSV the Netherlands, but at the same time it's not only about giving your opinion, it's about having the qualities of VP. So my question is, do you think you have you shown us last year that you have these qualities?
I believe that my work proves that I've been actually engaging and trying to provide an improvement in the EPSA world for the past 2 years. And I do believe that I have what it takes to keep this up, especially in the vice president position.
Next I have SSFB.
Krishan, SSFB. How are you planning to develop a team and their relationship with formations and hangout?
This mandate, it was it was offered the opportunity to have hangouts, possibly hangouts, and this has proven to be good for some team members who really need to see EPSA and to leave EPSA a bit throughout the mandate, especially when we are apart. I plan on counting on my experience as a trainer to also challenge my fellow team members on some activities that will improve the group dynamics of the EPSA team itself.
Technical snaps.
Okay, last much meeting. Can people in the back please be quiet because this is important and I really want to really focus on what's being said here.
Thank you, Snaps. Next is BPSA.
Sally, BPSA UK. So in terms of the lessons, you mentioned how you want to do the individual meetings and stuff. Is there anything else that you want to bring in new in terms of how we work as a lessons? And if not, okay, or is there anything you want to? Is there anything else you want to bring in new, and or is there anything you will improve on?
One thing that I want to focus on is on the informal communication in the WhatsApp group, not only to keep you active and engaged, but also to make sure that you are aware of what each other is organizing. So for example, when there are events in APF Portugal, they would share some, I would invite you to share some input on what's happening and some pictures, because that really augments the interactiveness within the group itself. And by providing a platform to hang out from time to time, so not only that's meeting tension, I think that it will really improve how people will see each other, not only between LSs, but also between the EPSA team and LSs.
APAP Austria.
Jelena of Austria, considering Anja's report, can you please provide a timeline when you will start doing which task in this portfolio? Thank you.
Bernardo.
Okay, so considering the tasks that I will have, I will go with the LS handbook. So that needs to be, first of all, I need to get a grasp of what needs to be altered. So I cannot tell you exactly when I will be able to finish the alterations, because I really need to understand how this is going to proceed. Still, tasks in regards to the team, I intend to start them as soon as possible, to start straight out of the bat a good relationship within every member of the EPSA team, and to start the group dynamic with the right foot, you know? In regards to To the rest of the portfolio itself, well, as soon as I'm added to the WhatsApp group, I intend to get to know you a bit better, and I intend to see the needs of each of the LSs in regards to the relationship with the VPIA. And this will go through also with the personal meetings in case you need them. So if you want one next week already, we can start to schedule.
VFSO.
In VFSO Belgium, I remember from your report that you were not as active in your buddy group. I think this is strange because being in contact and building relationships with LSs is key of your future possible portfolio. Can you please explain why this happened, and weren't you motivated to get in touch with them, or please explain?
So in the beginning of the mandate, when I got my buddies, I tried to contact them both. Still I got 0 replies until I got 1 reply. Still that reply was saying that, yeah, I'm no longer the LS, it's another person. And once I tried to contact that other person, I still, up to this date, I have no information or no reply from their side. I also contacted the VPIA, so Anya, and we tried to tackle the situation, but in the end it was not possible. I do intend to focus more on this as in the future mandates, as this will now be exactly one of the main things that I need to do. But before, it sort of wasn't, you know.
Next is Annette.
Pierre, Annette France. As you know, handover between the LSs in each national association can happen every time during your mandate. How would you help the new LSs and the past LSs during their handover period?
So as soon as I am aware that this is going to happen, I intend to expressively state that I plan to meet the new LSs and the previous LS if they are into the meeting as well, and try to support in a closer way this handover process. And I do believe that if the documents that are shared with the new LSs get revised in a way like how we share them or when we share them, I think that a plan for this handover can also be set for each and every LS.
Mihai?
Thank you for your application. You said that you have experience in coordinating a group from the training project. How are you planning to transpose what you've been learning and what you've been doing in coordinating the trainers into working with the LSs?
So first of all, what I learned a lot was facilitation skills, which I think will be essential in facilitating not only the discussions and meetings, but also facilitating the relationship between LSs. And this has been happening between when I was facilitating the relationship within the trainers that we have. Also, in regards to the department itself, I've been head of the trainers board for 2 years now, and I do believe that I've been managing them in a very positive way, and I can do that the same way for my department, for the VPIA department.
I still have on the list KMPSV, CPSA, and SARA, but I'll kindly ask General Assembly to think if they would like to proceed to internal discussion. Would you like to proceed to internal discussion now, or finish the speaking list? Do you want to go to internal discussion? Green or red? Okay, we'll continue with the speaking list, CPSA. No, KMPSV, sorry.
Janine came to the Netherlands. It's about the trainers board, because the trainers are known like an island of trainers. People often say that they are like separated for the rest of EPSA. And as VP of Internal Affairs, you have to be the most approachable one in the entire team. how do you think you can get rid of the trainer stigma and be approachable for everyone?
Before Bernardo answers, I would kindly ask the participants in the back to keep quiet. This is the highest decision-making body of EPSA, so please be quiet and respect the people who are presenting applications. Bernardo.
First of all, I plan to ensure that I will be receptive to meet any people from the EPSA team and also from the LS's side. So just make sure straight off the bat that the communication flow will be as good as I can possibly offer. So I intend to be there not only for my future team, but also for the future LSs that go through EPSA. And this covers the, being unresponsive for more than 1, 2, 3 days would be more than too much.
Next is EPSA.
CBSA Croatia, so there has been some talk about a buddy project, and also in the DLS meeting we discussed it, some possible changes. We haven't made any final conclusions, but what do you think about the future of this project and maybe introducing some changes?
So my plans for this project is that the project is optional for you to participate and to engage in it. Still, I do believe that it's necessary for every LS to be allocated to at least one team member, so that whether you feel the need to have this communication now or later, you know who to communicate besides the VPIA. So my point would be, yes, allocate everyone to the EPSA team members, and make sure that both of you are aware of what kind of engagements you want to have, so that it, in a way, so that it doesn't happen what it happened to me this mandate.
Next is Sarah in the back.
Thank you. Sarah, HLM. As you know, the Vice President of Internal Affairs is actually and legally the Vice President of the association. That being said, what are your plans to help Mihai in the pursuit of EPSA's vision, mission, and etc.? And if, and hopefully not, but we never know in the future, imagine that Mihai will have to step down, would you be available to step up since you would be the Vice President? Thank you.
Bernardo.
So first of all, I plan to meet with Mihai to see his vision clearer than we can see here, and so that we can structure ourselves better in regards to the management of the team itself. Because this is something that is done in a partnership between the both of us. So to see where can we take the best out of both positions in managing the team. If necessary, to provide more help, if Mihai is feeling a bit unmotivated or down in the president's tasks, I do believe that I can try to cover for some time, and I have what it takes to represent EPSA in his stead for as long as he might need. Still, being in Brussels would also help a lot in this, in my opinion.
I have concluded the speaking list. I see no other new points, so I'll give the floor back to Bernardo to provide his final speech. 1 minute.
Okay, so yeah, no one ever gets fully prepared for this, or no one gets fully comfortable in this position, and you will see what I mean when you get up here one day, hopefully. Still, I thank you very much for your questions, and thank you very much for your opinions. They are really important for me to grasp a bit of the needs and the concerns that you have in regards to this position. And I will take them all into consideration when developing the portfolio if I am elected for next PPIA. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernardo. I'll kindly ask you now to leave the room. We're again proceeding with internal discussions. Laptops, phones, live stream, nobody in, nobody out.